You know what time it is. Let's go! Yo, banging on the beat, breaking the concrete, defeating demons on a daily basis, glowing radiance, raising the consciousness to the most high status, lumen lyrical brightness, supreme natural intelligence. There's no coincidence that I'm rocking, feeding the knowledge to the masses. Vets and youth always speak the fire of truth, wisdom. Life is about growth or development, so build your light for the tests in life. Never give up, never let up. That's what's up. You know what time it is. So push forward, elevate your mind in the sun and rise.
Yeah, check it, listen, coming through, fire bun. I'm an intellectual to the precise decimals, mathematical root radicals. So we see this, I mean this, the fire of truth, from the sheer might, the fire of truth. Preach, teach, the fire of truth.
Just levitate, levitate, keep your head straight. Just levitate, levitate. Even if the world is so cold, we just levitate, levitate. Set these lies.
Barak Shalom, my brothers and sisters, and welcome to another Live Blaze broadcast, brought to you by your brother, your solar sovereign son, the Radiant One, Supreme Natural Intelligence, Intelligent Genes, Intelligenetics. Okay, everybody, we're now going on part 2 regarding the deep lyrical lecture regarding melanin science. Color, vibrations, and frequencies do matter. Who told you it doesn't matter? We're going to be continuing the lecture and discussion, going into more information, as well as reiterating some information to remind you the importance of the black polymer, the black particle, the black molecule, the black compound. It makes up the fabric of life. And you have to make sure you're building your light so you could better your life. How do you build your light to better your life? You better build the melanin, develop your melanin internally and externally, because that is the main factor that regulates your intelligence, regulates your physical abilities overall as it pertains to your health, wellness, and electrified vitality. You know what time it is, my brothers and sisters. Anyways, let's get the show on the road with the information. So this is a good little article giving you an overview and a reminder of some things that we talked about yesterday. So let me show the screen. So, top 10 facts about melanin. Listen to reason and listen to wisdom. Remember that I told you the price of melanin, the aromatic biopolymer, an organic semiconductor that makes black people black, is over $380 to $450 depending on the quality of the melanin. Obviously, the darker the melanin, the purer the melanin, the higher the price. It's more valuable than gold. So why do you continue to dye the blackness out your hair and your skin? It's complete foolery to do that stuff. Complete foolery. Since we learned melanin is so valuable, it came to our awareness that a number of myths about melanin have been spread. In a previous post, we identified what we consider the top 10 myths about melanin in interest of the ma'at, or justice we present. The top 10 facts about melanin in hopes they will assist in separating fact from fiction. So melanin, number 1, melanin is an aromatic biopolymer. Number 2, melanin is an organic semiconductor. Melanin is bistable switch was manufactured in 1974. A semiconductor was using melanin. In 1974, they began to use it. The 3 melanin samples used came from mushroom tyrosinase, acted on the tyrosine for 4 days. A lot of you should know about the chaga mushroom. The chaga mushroom is a very black mushroom. European scientists love to talk about the health benefits of mushrooms and say it has a tremendous amount of health benefits, high antioxidant activity, high antiviral activity, to keep your body healthy and strong, builds your immune system, but yet they try to hide the facts about melanin when it comes to humans, because you know it's all about white supremacy, right? So they have to what? Camouflage it when we're talking about humans. But when they're talking about plants, chaga mushroom is full of melanin. Plant melanin is called allomelanin. That's the type that plants have. It's called allomelanin. Humans have eumelanin or pheomelanin. Eumelanin is primarily black and brown. Pheomelanin is primarily yellow and red and lighter colors. And we know that the aromatic amino acid, tyrosine, as we talked about yesterday, is one of the main amino acids, which is the building blocks of protein that is essential for building your melanin. Tyrosine, tryptophan, and phenylalanine. Those are the 3 primary master chief amino acids that are essential for building your melanin. Those aromatic amino acids are the chief masters out of the rest of all the other amino acids that come after it. So what they're saying here, the 3 melanin samples used came from mushroom tyrosinase, acted on a tyrosine for 4 days. Auto-oxidation of I-DOPA in 1 liter of NaOH, sodium hydroxide, for 1 week in isolation of melanin extracted from human melanoma tumor. There are 3 types of melanin: eumelanin, as I mentioned, pheomelanin, and allomelanin. Eumelanin and pheomelanin is in mammals. Allomelanin is plant melanin. We also mentioned neural melanin, which is the internal melanin that life forms have as well. Central nervous system melanin, which plays a major role in many different functions in your body. Your immune system, your metabolic function. The more melanin you have, the better these systems and functions are going to work. The more melanin you have when it comes to your 5+ senses, the sharper and the stronger and more full spectrum you're going to perceive through your senses. Your hearing is going to be better if you have more melanin. If you have more melanin in your eyes, you're going to see more of the dynamic range of colors. More melanin in your nose, you're going to be able to have you're going to be able to smell things at a greater distance. Tasting, you're going to be able to have a more dynamic palate, a dynamic palate to taste flavors. Melanin is a centerpiece of all things in your body. They don't teach you this openly. They hide it and disguise it behind big words. So the 3 types of melanin is eumelanin, pheomelanin, which is in mammals predominantly. Allomelanin is specifically for plants, that's plant melanin types. Eumelanin and pheomelanin are primarily found in the vertebrates, fungi, and microorganisms. Eumelanin is brown and black. Pheomelanin is red and yellow. Allomelanin is brown and black as well. So allomelanin and eumelanin are both produce brown and black pigments or colors. And I have to remind you as well, black absorbs all electromagnetic radiation or all light spectrums. It's in fact all light spectrums in synchronicity, unison, synergy, simultaneously. When all colors are working together, all electromagnetic radiation working together in harmony. White light or the white reflects and projects electromagnetic radiation. It carries it. It projects it out. So let me show and prove once again. Remember, these terms I mentioned yesterday. I told you yesterday you should be taking notes on, check out what photovoltaism is. Check out what piezoelectricity is. Check out what black body radiation is. Black body radiation is what I'm saying. Black body radiation is talking about the science of electromagnetism being absorbed in the black hole. What is an example of the black body radiation on our bodies? The perfect black Cipher radiation that we have in our bodies that is pitch black like a black hole is what? The pupil in your eyes. That's pitch black. So that's a perfect black body radiator or black Cipher radiator. Since it's a circle, right? So it's a black Cipher radiator. It's able to fully absorb the electromagnetic spectrum. We've already told you that blackness, the darker you are, the more electromagnetic radiation you could absorb. That means you could access more information, intelligence, knowledge, and wisdom through the light, through the electromagnetic radiation. White body radiation is the opposite of black body radiation. White body radiation, what does it do? It reflects, it projects, it refracts through the crystal prism. So let me show you. Where is it at? Phosphorus, we talked about this yesterday. Phosphorus is one of the main minerals that our body uses. Mitochondria uses ATP, adenosine triphosphate, triple phosphorus. Phosphorus, as it says in etymology, bringer of light. Bringer of light. That's what phosphorus, when you break it down. Phos is light. Phos is light. Phoros is bringing. Emanation of light. Bringing forth light. Emanating light. So black body radiation, when you type it in, you're going to see this. So you're going to have to study this. So when you look at it here, what does it say regarding black body radiation? A black body allows all incidents of radiation to pass into it, not reflected energy, and internally absorb all electromagnetic energy. I've just told you that. So obviously, the opposite of black body radiation is white body radiation, which does the opposite. A white body is one with a rough surface that reflects all incidents of radiation or rays completely, uniformly, in all directions. A black body absorbs all the electromagnetic radiation and sets an equilibrium within it. So black body acts as a black hole, in essence. It's like a black hole, absorbing all things. So I'm going to say this again. A black body is an idealized physical body that absorbs all incidents of electromagnetic radiation, regardless of frequency or angle or incidence. The name black body is given because it absorbs radiation in all frequencies, not because it only absorbs. A black body can emit black body radiation. We know a white body is the opposite. White body specializes in projecting and reflecting and refracting, bending. It gives you, it basically defines, white body radiation defines what's in the black body radiation. It essentially projects what's in the blackness. The blackness absorbs all things and puts everything in harmony, in equilibrium, in neutrality. Whiteness brings distinction by projecting it, differentiating what's in the blackness to make it discernible and visible. Remember, the blackness is the infinite potential of all things, the quantum field of infinite possibilities. And the white body radiation, how should I say this? It's the infinite, it's the kinetic realities in all things. It's the kinetic reality in all things. So it allows you to see what's in the blackness. The blackness represents infinite potential, infinite dimensions that is unrealized until the white light projects, reflects, refracts, producing the kinetic realities infinitely within the blackness. See, I'm not just talking this. I'm proving you the science. It's so easy to look up. Black body radiation, white body. Go study for yourself. So let's get back to that 10 top melanin things here. Melanin facts. So white light is a carrier of all light spectrums. And as it goes through the crystal prism, which is a derivative of white light, the crystal prism bends and refracts it in this holographic world we live in, allowing it to be differentiated, divided, to be individualized. So we can compare and see differences, all these different things we see in this life we live in. So as mentioned before, eumelanin is brown and black. Pheomelanin is red and yellow. Allomelanin is brown and black as well, which is a plant version of melanin. Which chaga mushroom is the one that's popularized as one of the greatest medicinal herbs for that Europeans like to promote. Chaga mushroom. Because that mushroom is so black, it's very black. So to remind you, blackness is the embodiment of all things. The embodiment of all things. Whiteness is the projection of all things. Eumelanin and pheomelanin are primarily found in vertebrates, fungi, and microorganisms. Eumelanin is brown and black, pheomelanin is red and yellow, allomelanin is brown and black. Also, eumelanin and pheomelanin are found in animal fur, bird feathers, fish scales, insect, chitin, and microorganisms. Allomelanin is found in the plants and fungus like Aspergillus niger, and we know that Niger or Niger is talking about black. It's another way of saying black. Melanin protects living things from radiation. More melanin facts. Melanin protects living things from damaging radiation, like UVB. I like to say that melanin regulates the electromagnetic energies and organizes those energies so it's of use in the body for different purposes. That's why melanin darkness is important to have, because darkness or melanin, or the black polymer, black compound, regulates all electromagnetic radiation, from radio wave, microwave, infrared, to gamma ray, to ultraviolet, gamma ray, X-ray. Melanin can absorb it all, organize it all, and make it harmless in the body, and actually make use of it in the body for different purposes, for improving your mental facilities and faculties, or in other words, your intelligence, or your physical abilities, your athletic ability. So who would be considered the real Superman and Superwoman is the question. Is that white person that plays Superman fitting for that position as a Superman, absorbing all that power from the sun? We know that's false. So that needs to be replaced immediately to bring some accuracy to the science, to make it make more sense. Melanin protects living things from radiation, including UV radiation, specifically UVB, which can be damaging because it oxidizes living organisms when you're exposed for long periods of time. That's if you lack melanin, and you're in an extreme environment that is really hot and has high UVB and UVC radiation. UVBC is a higher frequency ultraviolet, which is even more damaging than B. But ultraviolet B is also essential for producing vitamin D that you know of. So you have to get ultraviolet B so you can produce vitamin D, because vitamin D is a major centerpiece in your immune system and strengthening your bones and your cellular metabolism and functions. It plays a major role. So melanin protects living things from radiation, including UV radiation and also extreme temperature. Did you hear that? Melanin protects living things from radiation, electromagnetic energies, including UV radiation, also extreme temperatures. Yesterday we discussed how does melanin is able to transmute light, sound, electricity, magnetism, and thermal heat. It's able to organize these elements and neutralize them and make them useful in the body for different purposes, like I said, mental function and physical function, for your health, wellness, and electrical vitality, for your ability to thrive in life. It covers all aspects of your living biochemistry. In other words, when you have more melanin, you're able to have more resiliency in the sun, including when you get higher temperatures. You have more resiliency and longevity to handle the sun's high vibrating energies when there's a lot of ultraviolet B and C, especially in the deserts that are really extreme. That includes the cold temperatures as well. It is used by radiotrophic fungi to convert radiation into chemical energy. Photosynthesis. Photovoltaism. Photosynthesis is what? Photo is light. Synthesis is bringing together, combining. So photo is combining the light electromagnetic spectrum to produce a certain product or certain something, whatever it's producing. In plants, it produces what? Sugars. It takes all the light's frequencies and condenses it into a crystal called sugar. Humans take light energy and convert it into electricity and magnetism. And it does it the other way around. Your mitochondria uses phosphorus to produce electricity and magnetism, and it also converts electricity and magnetism back to light. And it does this through amino acids. The aromatic amino acids, tyrosine, tryptophan, phenylalanine. Tryptophan is the precursor or the pre-state of serotonin, which is the daylight hormone. A hormone is instructions that tell your body what to do. So light is instructions, it's information, it's knowledge that tells your body what to do. And each color frequency of the light has a specific instruction that tells your body how to function, how to operate. It makes hormones in your body. The oxytocin, the dopamine, the pheromones, all those different things. What's another one? All those different hormones, you know what I'm talking about. The oxytocin, the dopamine, the serotonin, all those are hormones. All the color frequencies are responsible for that. Serotonin is a daylight hormone. Giving you razor sharp focus, giving you that energy to perform work during the day. What's poppin', Brother Ahmed? And in order for you to produce a proper amount of serotonin so you can be awake and have razor sharp focus, you need the aromatic amino tryptophan to produce serotonin. And then when darkness comes, when nighttime comes, the serotonin is converted into melatonin. Your pineal gland regulates your circadian rhythm, your wake and sleep cycles. So melatonin and serotonin is produced in the pineal gland. Melanin is produced in your chief gland, the pituitary gland, MSH, melanin stimulating hormone. It sends out instructions for your skin to produce melanin or to produce melanin within your central nervous system, which is also called neuromelanin. So, when we're talking about photosynthesis and photovoltaism, so let me show you that actually. Where's that at? As you see, the pineal gland produces melatonin, a serotonin-derived hormone, which is melatonin is the nighttime hormone, serotonin is the daylight one. So your pineal gland, which modulates sleep patterns in both circadian rhythm and seasonal cycles. The shape of the gland resembles a pine cone and gives its name, The pituitary gland, sometimes called the master gland or the chief gland in the endocrine system because it controls the functions of many of the other endocrine glands. The gland is attached to the hypothalamus, a part of the brain that affects the pituitary gland by nerves, fibers, and blood vessels. So you can do your further research on these things yourself. Photovoltaic, where is it at? So photovoltaics are best known as a method for generating electricity power by using solar cells to convert energy from the sun into flow of electrons by the photovoltaic effect. What is photovoltaic? I said photo is short for photon. Photon is the scientific term for light. Voltaic is volts. It's talking about the voltage or the currency or the electromagnetism that is produced out of the light. When the light is transmuted and broken down, it's converted into electricity and magnetism. When electricity and magnetism have sex with each other, it produces light. Electricity and magnetism, when it has sex, sacred energy exchange, it produces what? An ignition and a spark. That's light. Light and sound is produced. Solar cells produce direct current electricity from sunlight, which can be used to power equipment or to recharge a battery. So if solar panels are black, it relies on the blackness to absorb the sun energy. Black body radiation technology there. We know that black body radiation technology absorbs all the light, all the electromagnetic energy dynamically and makes use of it for different purposes. In this case, this specific technology, the solar panel, makes use of light and converts it into electricity, electromagnetism, to be used as energy to power different things. Same thing with your body. 2/3 of your body, 2/3 of your energy is obtained through the sun directly. 1/3 of your energy is produced through physical food, which is condensed sunlight. Fruits and veggies are condensed sunlight because they have sugars in it, right? Plants absorb light all day, all night. And it produces sugars, it produces different things. Different phytonutrients from the sun. Our bodies do something similar, which is called photovoltaism. And in a way, we do photosynthesis. We do combine light frequencies together to produce an end product, or produce energy, to produce or transmute the light into electromagnetism, so we could produce animation in our body, mentally and physically. Motivity, mentally and physically. Extreme temperature. So melanin protects, number 4, melanin protects living things from radiation, including UV radiation, and also extreme temperature. It is used by radiotrophic fungi to convert radiation into chemical energy. And we know that chem is black. Chem means black. Chemistry is talking about the alchemy of manipulating the black polymer compound. Chemistry, the manipulation of the black compound. That's what the chemistry is all about. Manipulating the black compound to produce different products, different elements, different materials. Whether you're converting that into gases, liquids, or solids, that's chemistry. The study of elements, the study of manipulating elements, the black compound to be more specific, within the elements. So Wengiella dermatitis and Cryptococcus neoformans grow faster when exposed to ionizing radiation. Ionizing radiation is dealing with the higher frequencies of radiation, which is what? Ultraviolet, X-ray, gamma. The radiation increases the metabolic activity of the cells. See, it's all about energy. Radiation increases the metabolic activity of the cells. But if you get too much radiation, your cells are gonna what? Be overloaded and eventually what? Boil, short circuit, your fuse is gonna be blown and produce what? Cancer cells? That's ionizing radiation. Too much energy is getting in your body, that's what's gonna happen to you. Well, at the same time, if you have a proper amount of melanin, it's going to help your cellular activity. Your metabolism is going to be shot up. So melanin is also harvested from the ink of Sepia officinalis, the common cuttlefish. It is the same as all melanin in the living kingdom. We also know that squids and octopus spit out or squeeze out a black substance, right? It's pure pitch black. That's melanin. Number 6, or the price of melanin is over 380 a gram, or it's $4.50 nowadays, depending on the quality, more than gold. So it's worth more than gold. Melanin is harvested from the different animals and different things for testing, as I mentioned. So number 6, there are over 258,000 scholarly articles involving melanin. Let that marinate and sink in. It takes millions of years for melanin to decay. So what is it telling us here? That the fountain of youth is melanin. Black don't crack. If you take care of your melanin, if you have a lot of melanin, you're going to have more vitality, resiliency, longevity. Neuromelanin, internal melanin, and external melanin. You got to build. If you want to improve your intelligence, you got to build within. You want to improve your physical athletic ability and potential, you got to build on external. It's telling you straight out here. It takes millions of years for melanin to decay. Allegedly. That's their estimate. Fossil melanin has been found in 160 million year old fossil ink sacs, fossil feathers, fossil skin, and fossil fish eyes. The molecular structure of melanin is unknown. Or should I say it's not completely known, because I do have a basic chemical structure of melanin. They do have a basic one of it, but they're not completely sure of all of it. Where is it? Do they have it here? No. Let me go check it out for a second. So as you could see, what they can decipher out of melanin Melanin is mostly made up of what? Carbon. Carbon is the bonding element of all the minerals. It brings all things together. Carbon. Carbon 18. Hydrogen 10. Nitrogen 2. Oxygen 4. That's the basic makeup of melanin in its chemical formulation that they could discern. Spectroscopic analysis uses light to differentiate the structure of molecules. Melanin absorbs radiation as mentioned above. Light is electromagnetic radiation. Light is electricity and magnetism in combination. Just like UV radiation is, spectroscopy is incapable of producing a molecular analysis of melanin because melanin absorbs the light used in the process. Melanin in human skin and the choroid coat of the eye is produced by a specialized cell known as a melanocyte. The melanocyte originates in a part of the embryo known as the neural crest. Other cells in the body produce melanin, but do not originate in the neural crest. The neural crest cells also contribute neurons to the peripheral nervous system, which is outside the central nervous system. Peripheral nervous system is like your arms and your legs. Central nervous system is essentially here. Your neural system is mainly in your brain, and it's also produced in your stomach area. As above, so below. Your stomach and its glands and organs are like a brain in itself on the lower on the lower section of your body. You got a top brain, you got a bottom brain. You also got your heart can be considered a brain as well. But in actuality, every cell in your body is a brain to itself when you look at it at a molecular level, a cellular level. But when you start forming organisms, organ systems, your stomach area is a larger brain, your heart's a larger brain, the brain in your head is a larger brain. The choroid coat was first considered to consist of the substance known as melanin by Jöns Jacob Berzelius in volume 9 of his 1840 book, Lurbusch der Chemie. Number 10. Melanin was first observed under a primitive microscope by Marcello Malbighi, as documented in his 1665 work. De Externo Tactilis Organo Anatomica Observatio. For nearly 200 years, it was believed that the reti mucosum was a layer of mucus which resulted from the alleged scorching effects of the sun. And they have some pictures and diagrams here. Is it? So just giving you different sources where you could look up here. So they say melanin is a fountain of youth. It keeps skin looking young. More facts on melanin thanks to African-centered education. Melanin is capable of acting as electron transfer agent in several reduction oxidization systems. As you can see the sources, you can look it up for yourself and investigate on your own. Remember, always look into all things. Always look, these are the sources. You can look for yourself. Different science articles you can look and read and get more details for yourself. But I'm pretty much giving you the major highlights you need to know. If you want to know the fine details, you could go look up these different sources yourself. In individuals with dark skin, the high melanin concentration in the epidermis absorbs high energy. Melanin is capable of acting as electrons transfer agent in several reduction oxidation systems. That's the science article. Melanin absorbs light at a wide range of wavelengths, from 250 nanometers to 1200 nanometers. And this is only going to increase the darker you are. Remember what I said before. You have perfect black Cipher radiation, which is your pupils in your eyes, which is pitch black. That absorbs all electromagnetic radiation. Melanin pigment is present in the liver and heart tissues. So we know it's present in organs and glands. In fact, it's the fundamental core and centerpiece of the function of the proper operation of those systems. Resistance to multiple sclerosis and experimental autoimmune is associated with dark skin pigmentation. So you're more resistant to diseases when you have more melanin, just to keep it simple. Science article for you to look up. The melanin of natural animal origin has an anti-radial effectiveness, increasing the number of alive newborn descendants. So you have more reproductive power and prowess when you have melanin. In other words, you're able to produce more offsprings. Melanocyte-stimulating hormone increases in humans during pregnancy. This, along with increased estrogen, causes increased pigmentation in pregnant women. The presence of melanin pigments in organisms is implicated in the radioprotection and in some cases enhanced growth in the presence of high levels of ionizing radiation. These are just highlights of the article that they're putting here. The incidence of pineal calcification, which reflects the secretory activity of the gland, is significantly lower in African and black populations as compared to white populations. Albert Einstein College of Medicine. And they got the science article there. So it tells you, everybody likes to talk about the third eye. Everybody likes to talk about the first eye, the insight, the eye of insight, the eye of unification, the eye of synchronicity, the all-seeing eye. How do I decalcify my pineal gland? So this is telling you, this science paper is telling you that on average, white, paler people have more incidences of calcified pineal glands than black folks. That's why black folks are more in tune with nature, because they're the melanin. They have more access to the source information over paler races. Albert Einstein College of Medicine did this study, and that's the science article they wrote there. Melanin and hemoglobin strongly absorbs light in ultraviolet and visible ranges, and they present low absorption in near infrared range. Melanin in particular has a photoprotective action because of its light absorption properties. In other words, melanin is a very good organizer of energy. When you lack melanin, you're unable to organize that energy. Therefore, the energy is going to overwhelm your body and it's going to be chaotic and messy. Therefore, it's going to cause what? Cellular degeneration or carcinogenesis. Cancer, the creation of cancer cells, in other words. If you lack melanin, you're more susceptible to that. Evidence is presented that melanization of the skin and other tissues forms an important component of the innate immune defense system. Evidence is presented that melanization of skin and other tissues forms an important component of the innate immune system defense. So why are these Europeans talking about white blood cells and all this foolishness when melanin is the main part of that system? A major function of melanocytes, but you never hear about this, brothers and sisters, in schools. They always talk about white blood cells is this. White blood cells is that. You gotta be wary of anything white. A major function of melanocytes, melanosomes, and melanin in the skin is to inhibit the proliferation of bacteria, fungal, and other parasitic infections of the dermis and epidermis. We know that most parasites are pale white. So it makes you think, do these white blood cells really do what they tell us to do? Or is it a misunderstanding that these scientists are telling us of what white blood cells do? Are they just scavengers in the body? That's the question. Based on this, based on what it's telling us here, in black people, they have little to no white blood cells. The lighter you are, you have more white blood cells, more parasites in you. Because it just tells us right here. Evidence is presented, melanization of skin and other tissues within the body forms an important component of the innate immune system defense. Did you ever be taught this in school? They always talk about white blood cells, but we know when we look at anything white, look at the parasites, look at the microorganisms, we see that a lot of them are white, and act like scavengers, cannibals. Do these white blood cells really have our best interests at heart, is a question. It's time for you to re-educate yourself and really look into it deeper. Because why don't they mention this in school? All they talk about your immune system is white blood cells and all this stuff they talk about. And then when you look at the pop culture in Western society, they always make everything black negative, evil, bad. But yet, We exist because of blackness. Vitality, the catalyst of vitality is because of blackness. Usually when whiteness comes in, it usually leads to death. When a person is dying out, or when a person is sick, what do they look like? They get pale. So you gotta rethink everything you've been taught. What happens when you have an extreme whiteness? That's albinism. Albinism. So you're gonna have a hard time in the sun. You have to take extra careful of your body because you're gonna get scorched and burnt and harmed because you lack blackness. All through the scriptures they talk about leprosy. All through the scriptures, they talk about leprosy, right? Or in other words, modernly it's called vertigo, when you lose your melanin. So you gotta unlearn the ignorance you have been learned, that you learned, the indoctrination you learned, and taking the true information, the fire truth. You see that Black Panther right here, the Black Jaguar. Life itself is your teacher, and you're in a state of constant learning. Which pillar are you going to receive? The fire of truth or the sea of deception? All these sources is ridiculous, man. There's no excuses. No one's saying, oh, melanin don't matter, pigment don't matter, color don't matter. You shouldn't be saying that anymore. All these sources here you can look up for yourself. Overwhelming amount of sources. And yet you're not taught nothing in school about this. But yet they flaunt it in your face through chemistry. Chemistry is black. It's dealing with the manipulation of the black molecule. It's crazy, man. Evidence is presented that melanization of the skin and other tissues in the body forms an important component of the innate immune system defense. A major function of melanocytes, which is the melanin cells in your body, melanosomes, which hold the cells, and melanin in the skin is to inhibit the proliferation of bacteria, fungal, and parasitic infections of the dermis and epidermis. The EU melanin model had more reduced than oxidized groups accessible to reaction with the radicals, free radicals. The free radical scavenging properties of melanin may be important in the protection of melanotic cells against free radical damage. We know that free radicals rob you of your electrons within your body. That's your life energy. So if you have a lot of free radicals in your body, in layman's terms, that means your body's being aged quicker. You're aging quicker. You're being dehydrated. Old man and old woman prematurely. That's what free radical damage does to you. It robs you of your life energy, or in other words, your electrons. Melanin neutralizes this cycle, slows it down. That's why it's considered the fountain of youth. That's why it's considered the compound of longevity and vitality. And the compound of superhumanism. So melanin may be important in the protection of melanotic cells against free radical damage, particularly if the reaction radicals are generated in close proximity to the pigment granules. Skin from black patients was associated with the cytoplasmic pattern of autofluorescence. Compared to lighter skin, black skin was also significantly associated with increased intensity of autofluorescence, indicating that autofluorescence of the epidermis parallels the clinical degree of the pigmentation. Negro hair exhibited more fluorescence than the Caucasian hair. The darker hair, brown to black, exhibited more fluorescence than lighter hair, blonde. This may be related to melanin and its breakdown products. With the respect to solid state properties of eomelanin, the current paradigm is that these systems are amorphous organic semiconductors. Amorphous organic semiconductors. This module has been used to explain the rather unusual electrical conductivity. Specifically, there is no electricity without magnetism. There's no magnetism without electricity. Just one is dominant depending on its application. So, usually electromagnetic conductivity and photoconductivity. Equally important for understanding biological functions of melanin is adequate characterization of its metal ion binding ability. Metal ion binding ability melanin has. Melanin is believed to be photoprotective pigment. The protective action of melanin is related to its highly efficiency to absorb and scatter photons, particularly the higher energy photons from the UV and the blue part of the solar spectrum. As a result of ultra-fast photodynamics, energy of the absorbed photons is rapidly and efficiently converted into heat. I've already told you, melanin is able to transmute electricity, magnetism, light, sound, and thermal heat, vice versa, for different purposes, all around. It could convert to all these different energies for different reasons and purposes. Melanin has been shown to be a powerful antioxidant. So it's able to neutralize free radicals, the aging particle, free radicals. And we also, antioxidants are in plants, in allomelanin. So we know that the darker the plant, as we eat darker vegetables and fruits, it has higher amount of antioxidants. As above, so below, as within, so without. The law of correspondence. Everything is connected, everything is related. Neuromelanin is not homogeneous as it is commonly accepted, but is made up of different substrate-specific black pigments formed by the oxidization of O-diphenyls or other oxygenated precursors. Substantia nigra melanin, locust coeruleus melanin, retinal pigmented epithelium or ocular melanin, inner ear melanin, I mentioned this earlier, and then it goes on and on. Inner nose melanin, inner tongue melanin. The more melanin you have, the more dynamic range that you could perceive with your senses. Not just talking. It's all these science articles here. Ocular melanin is believed to protect the eye by trapping metals and free radicals. Skin and ocular melanin are chemically different. Skin and ocular melanin are chemically different. However, they are both involved in light absorption dissipation. The black particle structure, melanin cage, the melanin cage or the melanin web, is believed to be fundamental to this process because there is a common bioelectric, so we're dealing with biology. Didn't Dr. Sebi tell us that the body is electric, or specifically electromagnetic? I like to say the body is photo-hydro-electromagnetic. That's a science terminology I came up with, a big word I came up with. Photo, light, hydro, dealing with hydrogen, in other words, water, electromagnetic, electricity and magnetism. So light, light and sound, the body deals with light and sound, it deals with water, hydrogen, deals with electricity and magnetism. Full hydroelectromagnetism is what the body emits and absorbs. So because there is a common bioelectric mechanism, it is stressed that intracellular melanogenesis, so the creation of melanin or the making of melanin, is a fundamental. The production of melanin, genesis, producing the genes of melanin, is a fundamental and genetically controlled physiological process. It has been repeatedly claimed that the binding of iron, heavy metals, free radicals, and harmful chemicals by substantia nigra melanin is fundamental to the body, detoxification, and protection. Substantia nigra melanin acts as a semiconductor, transmitting and modulating nervous impulses, an antenna. Your hair is an extension of your nervous system as well. Antennas. So you're able to what? Receive, having a reception, perceive the electromagnetic information around you from people, places, and things. So the substantia nigra, melanin acts as a semiconductor, transmitting and modulating, regulating, controlling, manipulating the nervous system impulses in a reversible way. In fact, substantia nigra melanin is absent or significantly scarce in two conditions of life, which the coordination of movement is either inefficient, newborn babies, or strongly compromised, which is Parkinson's. So when you lack melanin, you're not going to have the coordination to handle disease. Your action, in fact, is going to give you the curse of disease if you lack melanin. Melanin directly converts light for the vertebrate metabolic use, dark human skin. Antioxidant properties of melanin and retinal pigment epithelial cells. So it's just showing you more sources to back each other up. More melanin you have, the more antioxidant properties you'll have in your body. In other words, you're going to have more resiliency, more longevity, more vitality potential. Melanin pigments in the human pineal gland. So there's melanin. There's melanin derivatives in your pineal gland. Melatonin, serotonin, melanin derivatives. It's different from your skin melanin, but it's a melanin derivative called melatonin or serotonin, dealing with daylight and nighttime instructions. Hormones are instructions. They're information. It's knowledge. It's intelligence. Telling your body what to do. Melanin, and that's what light gives you. Light gives you information, intelligence, instructions, and knowledge. And the more melanin you have, the more of the instructions you could receive and hold. The lack of melanin you have, it's harder for your body to hold that information. Melanin protects cordial blood vessels against light toxicity. Melanin protects melanocytes and keratinocytes against H2O2. Induced DNA strands break through its ability to bind Ca2+. Neuromelanin, so the internal melanin they're talking about of the substantia nigra, a neuronal black hole with protective and toxic characteristics. So it acts as a black hole, protecting you from toxic things. Sound needs sound. Melanocytes to be heard. So as I mentioned before, a person's ability to hear sound, musical tones, the dynamics of sound is based on the amount of melanin they have within their ears. Because melanin is the centerpiece of perceiving a wide dynamic range of sound and tones. Sound needs sound through melanocytes. Your bones are crystals. So when pressure is on your bones, it produces a vibration. It produces electromagnetism, piezoelectricity. Melanin is required in that process to widen the dynamics of your ability to hear sound. Same thing in your nose, eyes, ears, everything. The expanding role and presence of neural melanins in human brain. The expanding role and presence of neuromelanins in the human brain. So, in order for your brain to reach its highest expansion and dynamics, melanin plays a major role in that. So it's talking about consciousness. If you want to have a more dynamic consciousness, melanin is key for that. The more melanin you have in your more neuromelanin you have, the greater your consciousness. The more connected you are to the source, the more in tune you are with Almighty Nature, the more supreme you are. The melanin system protects cells against irradiation. The melanin systems protect cells against irradiation. All these different benefits. And you got what? How many articles? How many science studies did they estimate? Estimate 258,000 scholarly articles or more. They're always studying it every single day. Look at all this information. It's like what are you talking about? It's like no excuse. What is all this? Anyways, I'm going to put this to a close. We're an hour and 13 minutes in. I don't want to make them too long. I provided a tremendous amount of information for you to look deeper, to get the details on these things for yourself. But like I said, I'm here to give you the highlights of how melanin works. If you want to look into the inner workings and details further from these different scientific papers, you can do that on your own. It'll take far too long, days to go through all that. Anyways, my brothers and sisters, that is a fire of truth, and nothing but the whole, living, unified truth. My brothers and sisters, you better absorb what is useful, discard, cut, and throw what is not, and make that valuable and useful thing uniquely your own. Truth blazing, facts being manufactured in a factory. You know what time it is, my brothers and sisters. It's time for you to awaken your mind and get your behind back to the organic internet mainframe of Almighty Nature, which is a unified field, the collective consciousness of the divine, the great vine, derived from the vine of which you get your true information, knowledge, wisdom, and intelligence from. My brothers and sisters, 3 things cannot long be hidden. Cannot long be hidden. The sun, the moon, and the truth. So you get the truth from the light of the sun, the reflection and projection from the light of the moon. which is going to reveal the truth to you. Melanin is the main factor to receiving the supreme intelligence from the dynamic light spectrum of the electromagnetic emissions of the sun. Light is information. Light is information, which is supposed to transform you from within. Internally and externally, you should be transforming from the information of the light. If you want to improve your ability to receive information and knowledge and wisdom, you better upgrade yourself. Build your melanin externally. Build your melanin internally. So you can receive the supreme knowledge and wisdom. Listen to reason. Listen to wisdom. This is what it's all about. This is how you build your melanin here. You better be getting tuned with those plants. And leave the dead stuff alone. Minimize it. So anyways, brothers and sisters, enjoy. We're in the age of Aquarius. There's no more excuses. We're in the age of Aquarius. The age of information, the age of knowledge, the age of wisdom. There's no excuses now. Teach the youth the truth. Because they're going to inherit the future. Stop the indoctrination and lies, deception, and white supremacy in the school system. Because they're telling lies. Stop the false information in the Western culture. Tell the truth. Like, share, subscribe, fire blaze that bell icon, all notifications. United we stand stronger. Together we rise higher. So you know what time it is. There is nothing more ancient than the truth. The sun, the moon, the truth. The pyramid of power. We have to come out of that bottom and rise to the top of the hierarchy in power. Listen to reason and listen to wisdom. We've got the power! Power! Peace. Let's pop a reflection. I see you, brother. Peace, brother. Peace, Simon.
Yeah, check it, listen, coming through, fire bun. I'm an intellectual to the precise decimal of mathematical root radicals. So we see this, I mean this, the fire of truth. From the sheer might, the fire of truth. Preach, teach, the fire of truth.
Just levitate, levitate. Keep your head straight. Just levitate, levitate. Even if the world is so cold, we just levitate, levitate. Shed these lies.
Balance is key, foundation you see, harmony we see, nature we free, spirit we agree, preach and teach, the flock we reach, peace we feast, Ecclesiastics 3, Barak Shalom hour, inner peace power, reason in season, there's meaning in beacon and wisdom we season, peace to the most high, the most high, 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 peace to the most high, the most high.
Check it, listen, coming through, fire bun. I'm an intellectual to the precise decimal of mathematical root radicals. So we see this, I mean this, the fire of truth. From the sheer might, the fire of truth. Preach, teach, the fire of truth.
Just levitate, levitate. Keep your head straight.
What? Slow motion this side.